The Israeli military has launched heavy airstrikes on Gaza. It also resumed ground operations in central and southern Gaza to expand its security perimeter. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz issued a stark warning telling Gazans to return hostages and remove Hamas from power.
Residents of Gaza, this is the last warning. The first Sinwar destroyed Gaza, and the second Sinwar will destroy it completely. The airstrike against Hamas terrorists was only the first step. What is coming will be more difficult, and soon you will pay the price. Soon the evacuation of residents from combat zones will begin again. If they don't return the Israeli hostages and Hamas is not being removed from Gaza, Israel will act with force like you haven't seen before.
In a tragic development, a UN building in Dein el-Bala was hit by an airstrike, killing one UN employee and wounding others.
The locations of all UN premises are known to the parties to the conflict, who are bound by international law to protect them and maintain their absolute inviolability. The Secretary General strongly condemns all attacks on UN personnel and calls for a full investigation. He underscores that all conflicts must be conducted in a way that ensures civilians are respected and protected.
IDF has denied striking UN compound and also called on media outlets to act with caution regarding unverified reports. As violence continues to escalate, the international community is voicing concerns. India expressed deep concern over the situation in Gaza and called for the urgent need for the release of all hostages and the continuous supply of humanitarian aid to the region. Leaders of France and Jordan called for a halt of hostilities in Gaza and a political solution to the conflict.
As you had pointed out, Israel's resumption of its attacks on Gaza is an extremely dangerous step that adds further devastation to an already dire humanitarian situation. The international community must act immediately and collectively push for restoring the ceasefire and the implementation of its phases.
Meanwhile, protests in Israel demand that the government prioritize the return of hostages over military objectives. Hamas has rejected Israel's calls to renegotiate a ceasefire deal and insist on proceeding with the second phase of talks. But US has continuously blamed Hamas for the resumption of hostilities, but there was still a US-crafted bridge proposal on the table to extend the ceasefire and bring about the release of hostages held by the group in Gaza. Negotiations remain at an impasse with no clear resolution in sight. The situation in Gaza remains dire, with the renewed fighting further complicating efforts for peace.